example, we're going to do a little role play between me and Iain Patton, if he's still here.
Yes,
He's disappeared off my screen.
I'm here, don't worry.
You're here. Just to illustrate the possibility of moving from one type of question to another. And as I say, the questions that are there are not definitive. They're example questions. So then you may word things differently. You may simplify them. You may change them. Okay. But we're just going to do a very brief session, myself and Iain. So Iain, you with me?
Oh, I'm so glad of this time with you. And I'm glad there's no one else here because I'm just fed up with this now.
Okay. Iain, we've got a little bit of time together. We've got an opportunity to work on some of your thoughts and ideas and feelings. What is it that you're hoping to achieve in the session today?
Oh my goodness, Anne. You know, I'm just getting dragged into more minutiae with my team. You know, I haven't got round to updating the HR strategy or even the risk policy for like a year and a half, which is bad. But I just get dragged into all sorts of stuff like helping with press release. Oh, where do you hear this? Where do you hear this? We've got a big event in a couple of weeks' time. I was asked, how many canapes do you think each delegate needs? What the? I don't, for goodness sake.
Okay, so it sounds as though you're feeling quite frustrated about the situation you're currently in. Would you like to say a little bit more about how you're feeling?
Oh, just frustrated and fed up because I've got a big job, but people just constantly come to me asking me to check things, or they put meetings into my calendar and say, oh, you know, what do you think about this? You know, I'm just run ragged, and I want to help, you know, and in truth, and sometimes it is quicker if I just get on and do it myself. But you know, I'm just tired and weary of not being able to get on with the big picture job.
Okay, so I understand that you're feeling frustrated, you're tired, you're weary. I'm just going to step out of the coaching for a moment. Okay, what are the options that I've got now with Iain in terms of rooms? Do I keep him in the family room where we clearly are at the moment?
I think you need to be sympathetic and acknowledge, but then move on to something that's more practical to take away some of the emotion side.
Okay, so we've started in the family room because that's where Iain started. Yeah, I'm fed up. That was pretty much the first thing he said, expression of feeling. So let's explore that a little bit more. And obviously, if we had more time, we'd explore that in more depth. Is it going to be a great idea to keep him in that room? Probably not for too long because we need to break that state. So where could we go?
Kitchen.
Kitchen?
Yeah, kitchen.
It gives him
And what kind of question would we ask Iain next?
What practical things could he do to get control of the situation more?
Okay, if I take him to the kitchen now, the question might be exactly that. So what do you think you could do about this in practical terms, Iain?
Can I say no? Is that allowed, Anne? So I maybe need to say no a bit more because I want to be helpful. I want to be helpful. I need to try to control my diary because other people have got all of it.
Okay. That would be one approach, to take him into the kitchen and to get him out of feeling and starting to think practical. But what have we missed by going directly to the kitchen?
And
in terms, what have we missed?
Taking him into a coaching state of motivating to pull him out of that dark place and encourage him to look at the bigger picture, maybe.
Okay. And where would the bigger picture happen?
Yeah, observatory.
In the observatory.
Yeah. My hunch.
But also a bit, sorry.
Go ahead.
A bit in the library there to be able to define and assess problems, because sometimes he may be complaining like that. He doesn't understand really what the problem is, whether it's with himself or other people around him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have options there. We have options. We do this as coaches based on our own instincts, our own experience. My hunch would be to take Iain to the observatory next. Yeah. And to say to him, okay, Iain, so can you describe to me, or can you paint a picture for me of what you would like to be happening? What would it look like if we overcame some of these issues for you?
I'd have time and energy, you know, to do some of the big things. I mean, the things I'm putting off, Anne, are like, you know, the risk policy. It hasn't been updated for 18 months. I mean, that's really bad, isn't it? That's a risk to the organization. But I just get dragged into the minutiae. So I would love, you know, these big things, strategic thinking, HR strategy and risk. I want space, you know, not just time, but space, and not the constant interruptions, because I'm constantly answering WhatsApp. I'm constantly looking for emails and saying, oh God, should I be responsive? And
Okay, and so I understand what's currently happening. You've explained that. Give me a picture of how things would be if it was working better for you.
I'd have time to think. Uninterrupted time to think about the things that are really important, and I'd love that, because you know that's really long-term value to the organization and to me feeling I'm actually doing something.
So your goal that we're working on here is about how do I create time to think? Yeah.
Yeah, and how do I support other people thinking for themselves?
And how do I support other people thinking for themselves? Okay, where can we go now? We've got some sense of a clear goal there. Where could we go now?
The library next.
Tell me what you would ask, the kind of question you might ask Iain from the library.
Well, I suppose you're moving more towards the action stage, but you're still kind of keeping it kind of slightly bigger picture or slightly more logical or analytical, which may kind of help to keep it more elevated rather than getting stuck in the detail of everything.
Yes, I mean, we haven't got time to look in great detail, but you're absolutely right, Rita. What we'd start to look there for is for Iain to start to get out of the feeling, get out of the heart stuff and into the head stuff, and questions that get him to evaluate. Yeah. So what kind of things must you keep doing? What kind of things can you drop? Yeah. What strategies do you need to stick with, and which ones might you be able to change? So probably with Iain, we need to move him into the library to take some of the emotional heat out of this and start to get him to think more rationally about what he could be doing. Okay. And then when we've done that, so let's just try one more before we close this. So Iain, I think we've got quite a good understanding of your feeling at the moment. We recognize what's currently going on. You've given me a sense of this need to find space and to be able to start to hand over responsibility to other people to do things themselves. What do you think some of the best approaches might be to doing that? And you see, best approaches is about evaluating. It's library stuff. It's getting him to think not just about possibilities, but start to think about what the best approaches might be.
I think getting control of my diary could be a really good thing, so that there may be slots in it that people can, you know that I'm free or not available to book me. So that could be really, really useful, actually. But I also think there is a team element here. So maybe everyone in the team, we could go on a Caplor House and start to recognize, our different approaches, our different thinking, and actually our different strengths, and to maybe empower people a little bit more so that it doesn't automatically come to me.
And what would the benefits be of doing that, Iain?
I think for me, it would be having the space and time to think and to do my bigger strategic thinking, but also for my team, that they would feel more empowered.
Okay, and let's just drop down into the kitchen. So what would be the first step that you could take today in beginning this process?
I think what I'm going to do, Anne, is actually go through my calendar in advance and start to create spaces in it, and start to then have a conversation with my team about when they cannot book me, so that we're starting to develop a new structure, but also a new culture of creating the space that I need.
And I'm going to take him very briefly back to the family room. How do you feel about that first step?
Oh, if it gets me out of canapé counting, I'm on board. So
Okay.
I think it'd be great.
Okay. Very brief session, not an example of great coaching, but just an attempt to show you that the coaching process takes people into different places, and that you as the coach can lead them there by the choice of type of question and language that you use.